So just a quick snapshot. We have an attractive category of products. Spices and seasonings, tomato-based sauces have significant growth. Like nuts, all the products in this portfolio are on trend in health and wellness. We have global leadership. Today, we're the #1 industrial spice company in the world, with global leadership in onion, garlic, capsicums, and pepper. We have a global scale and reach. We're sourcing from 12 origins, we're manufacturing in 6 countries, and we're selling in 70-plus countries in this portfolio. We have a strong customer franchise. The origin of this business, going back with Gilroy Foods, is over 50 years old. And that history of companies that, or in the history of Gilroy Foods, it's gone from an ownership of McCormick to Conagra Foods to Olam today. So it's a 50-year history, but not a lot of transition in ownership. And with that, a lot of stability with customers, a lot of expertise in ag operations that Dave's going to talk about, and really, as I mentioned, a long history with customers. We're also to emphasize, we're not a trading business. We are an asset-intensive, integrated supply chain, from seed through processing all the way to our customer's door. And we have an experienced team. We've grown with the best talent from the acquired companies. We've grown with new ideas that have come in. And so collectively, like nuts, we have a lot of experience in this industry. Now, as I mentioned, we have an integrated supply chain. This is how we look at our business from seed management all the way to field plantations, primary processing, secondary processing, and finished goods. You can see, I'm not going to go into each product, but you can see that in a large part of our portfolio, we are participating from upstream to downstream. Our goal here going forward is anywhere that you see blanks, we're going to want to fill in those blanks. So our objective in this business is to be fully integrated all the way back from seed to finished goods in this business. So I do want to talk about acquisitions. They have been an important part of this business. You know, the business we said in 2000 started out in origination and sourcing and trading. In 2007, 2008, conscious decision to start moving into primary processing of garlic and onion. Then from there, an adjacency with the onion business moving into tomatoes. What tomatoes did was started to move into farming operations, but it also brought a lot of primary, secondary processing capabilities, as well as moving into downstream, so canning and retail. From there, shortly after that acquisition, moved into Gilroy Foods. And Gilroy Foods then moved even further up the upstream. Gilroy Foods brought seed breeding and technology. It also brought global leadership in these categories. Gilroy was #1 in onion, garlic, and capsicums. And then it also brought further capabilities in primary and secondary processing. From there, we moved into Vietnam, and the strategy there was adding tropical spices to the portfolio, as well as seasoning or blends around curry and private label capabilities. And then most recently, Egypt, where we were looking for a new origin to take our onion business, and Egypt having good proximity or good agricultural conditions similar to California was the strategy why we started moving into Egypt. Most of these integrations have gone well. And why have they gone well? We have an established key senior management team. We've taken the best from both acquired companies and brought that together with Olam talent. The size of this business from 2006 has gone from 12 GATP members to 30, and we've gone from 2006, 100 employees to more than 4,500 employees. One of the things we've done in all these businesses, they all had brands. We quickly eliminated the legacy brands. We moved straight to Olam as the brand of this business. We applied the best functional skills and practices from acquired entities to the rest of the SVI group. So we look at strengths that all these businesses can bring, whether it's customer relationships, processing, engineering expertise, innovation, and quality. We've established sales hubs across key markets. Brian will talk more about that in the Americas, EU, Asia Pacific. And then we've strengthened common systems and processes. All of our businesses now are running SAP. So just quick on industry dynamics. We see a couple areas of growth in this business. In the developed markets, health and wellness remains a trend, And we also see that as we have a portfolio of industrial ingredients, our customers are looking for simplicity in the buy. They want like a one-stop shop. So we see that as an opportunity to further grow the business in developed markets, as well as health and wellness, and then innovation, which Siva will talk about later. And then we also see that in the rest of the world, our ingredients are used largely in packaged foods. They're used as meat seasonings, prepared foods, instant noodles, food service snacks. So as these businesses evolve in emerging markets, that's a great opportunity for us to grow the business and grow sales. Just to give you an idea, kind of our positions in the market, onion, you can see this is our position globally. You can see our position is quite substantial in the U.S. and the market position that we have in Egypt. We see that U.S. and Egypt are major origins going forward, and we have a very strong position here. In garlic, we also are market leader, about 14% share here. We're more than half the market in the U.S. And China, market leader, low share overall. But the opportunity in something like garlic, as the industry becomes more sophisticated around food safety, around quality, there is a huge amount of opportunity here to increase that share as the market evolves around food safety and quality. Vietnam, we've gone in 10 years to establish market leadership globally, and the key origin in trade is Vietnam, where we have market position. Again, there's a lot of unorganized trade still globally in these origins. Similar trend in garlic. As this becomes more sophisticated in food safety, we see opportunities that large players that have food safety, quality systems, execution right, have an opportunity to grow share. And tomatoes, while we're 4% globally, 10% of U.S. today, may seem somewhat small, but these are, in tomato processing, these are highly relevant market shares. And here what we see, as we talked about, China and Europe have large percentage of share that's up in here. So even if we just said status quo, high probability that our share in tomatoes as we execute against that strategy has upside potential.
But as we look at this, one of the interesting things and one of the key drivers that we're really pushing our sales team to deliver is really, as Greg mentioned, cross-selling the portfolio. And that's cross-selling the products that we have today. But as Siva will talk about, and I'll mention a couple of examples here in a moment, in addition to cross-selling the portfolio, it's looking to how do we combine the assets, the expertise, and the products to create new products and new solutions for our customers. And this matrix, although SVI, and as we're consolidating the teams, is in its infancy, in looking at this, a lot of these X's have already been filled. Even though these were major strategic customers, we've started to sell new products and leverage those bridges that we've built to, as we've brought new products into the system, to be able to take advantage of the fact that we already have an existing customer relationship and trust and quickly introduce new products from other parts of the portfolio. In looking over here at the right, just some keynotes, and I think this is the important thing to note about the customer franchises, as Greg touched on. A number of these relationships, irrespective of where they came from, with all these different groups, all of them have contributed a number of different relationships, whether they be on a global scale or a regional scale. A lot of these relationships, we have, as Greg said, a 40-plus year history. In addition to that, with the trust and long-standing supply position and execution that we've shown and the relationship that we've built, we've been able to cultivate a real security in these customers, in that we have a number of long-term supply agreements, some of them as long as 10 years as we move forward. So in this base, our current customer base and volumes are very secure in many respects. And then the ability to extend those relationships and that trust and security and those supply relationships to other products will continue to move forward and be a primary point of focus for us. This list will be dynamic, though. And one thing I would highlight is the fourth line down on the food retailer. That relationship did not exist as a direct SVI relationship 18 months ago. And with the activities, some of it was being able to manage the relationships that Olam had in other categories. As we've moved through that, our first introduction of product was not something that we had ever produced as SVI, as individual business units. It was the culmination of the expertise and various products and our production assets to create a new product that introduced and penetrated that customer. And with that, some of our biggest opportunities near term in the tomato sector, as Greg was talking about, et cetera, are linked to that customer now because of that one exercise. And with that, I'll turn it over to Siva to talk about innovation.
Innovation and quality is an important pillar in the spices and vegetable ingredient business, because through this, we actually are looking at future value creation and future capability development for the spices business. Now, this also brings in a very clear competitive advantage to the spices and vegetable ingredient business and Olam, because we have the scale, we have the combination, and we basically spice up the entire food portfolio. So when a spice manufacturer or a bottler or a snack manufacturer thinks of innovation and they have a challenge, it becomes our challenge. So we basically practice the science of delivering innovations to spice up a product. Our customers are mostly demanding the highest levels of food safety and quality standards, which comes through great measurement. They're also looking for differentiated ingredients to spice up their portfolio. So we have to be consistently delivering ingredients which will have capabilities of color, flavor, texture, or particle size tailored to meet their requirement. So each customer of ours could be having a differential requirement, and that is our business. Delivering that becomes our daily bread. The second important aspect is that in the environment where there is an ever-demanding food regulation that's coming up, our customers seek expertise. When they seek expertise, it's very, very deep expertise that they are seeking. And hence, we have to not only engage in science, we have to practice that science with our customers. So we practice science alongside with our customers in our laboratories and in our customers' laboratories. The third important part is many times our customers also require cost savings in ingredients, because some of the ingredients become significant part of the product cost as it ends up on the shelf, and they're looking for enhanced functionality. So it could be like a tomato ketchup that's there in the market. The shelf price cannot change over the next 1 year. So what can we deliver in our tomato paste or in our diced tomatoes as a cost saving to our customers so that they are able to maintain their prices using improved functionality? That's our business. That's what we do in the innovation and quality team within the SVI business. And the most important part is linked to our agriculture. Quality systems that is being demanded by the entire food industry now is all about being able to trace it back to the field. And that is where our quality systems, our BRC certifications, our comprehensive quality management using the SAP ERP platform allows us to track every hour of production, every back to every field, and say that this is how we are able to trace it back. Now in the United States, it's highly developed, it's highly sophisticated. In some of our origins, we are able to take that practice and bring it back to those developing origins where we can replicate that systems, which will allow trust and long-term stickiness with our customers who are betting their brands based on our ingredients.
On the ag side, we control every step of the process from seed development all the way through to finished product. We've been doing it for a very long time, and during this time, we have generated some very important competitive advantage that we enjoy today. Finally, as we have consolidated these product lines into the platform SVI, we have readily been able to take advantage of important opportunities to become very partnered with key growers in our best growing areas with the best ground. And so we are able to participate in crop planning with these key relationships for many years going out. The net result is we get very good grower stickiness with these key relationships, and we've been able to be very competitive in our sourcing costs by doing this. Our contract grower base, some of them we have relations that go well more than 50 years now, and we have been very successful in adding control to these relationships through the use of good agricultural practices. And we have well-defined practices for every commodity, and it addresses the important issues around the relationship. It's compliance around pesticide use, it's environmental health, it's optimizing crop quality and performance, and importantly, as Siva mentioned, it's all about food safety, and that's where it starts, is in the field.
Brian talked about with customers and how do we take that relationship with customers to the next level. It's about cross-selling the portfolio. It's about following our strategic customers with their global expansion plans. And it's about seeking emerging customers in emerging markets. Siva talked about innovation and quality. Quality assurance, while we're very strong at it, the regulatory environment every day is becoming more complex. New regulations in all parts of the world, whether it's China, U.S., Vietnam. We have to stay ahead of that, and our customers are looking for it, and it's an opportunity for us to differentiate our services. On top of that, we want to move to more innovation in this business. So now that we have this portfolio, we can combine ingredients, provide the elements of our portfolio, the ingredients in that portfolio, to provide innovative solutions to customers. Siva gave some great examples of the kinds of things that we're just starting to do. And then Dave talked about ag ops. Really, at the core, our competitive strength with those grower relationships and what we do. That's really core to what we do, and what we've developed. But we want to take that expertise in seed, farming, processing to all origins. And we have picked strategic origins, either through acquisition or greenfield, that have either climatic conditions or have farming-type conditions that would be conducive to the way we've done things in California. So it's not that we're looking to have a footprint in every country. We're looking for places that we're able to take our farming and our processing expertise and grow that in other parts of the world. And we want to make sure that we do those operations in a sustainable way. We understand that the ingredients that we supply, Brian talked about it, they're going into the who's who of food manufacturers. They're going into the who's who of food retailers. They're going into the largest quick service restaurants in the world. We have a big responsibility to make sure that we are great stewards of the supply chain for these customers. They expect it. It's an opportunity for us to grow the business as they grow. It's an opportunity as other customers understand those kinds of requirements. It's an opportunity for us to further grow the business. So we want to be great stewards of the resources that are necessary for producing and processing our businesses. Everything from land, chemicals, fertilizer, the water that we use, the air that we emit from the quality of the air that we emit from our plants, all the way through, good stewards of that. And really to bring that together in how Olam does it across businesses worldwide, whether it's the Livelihood Charter, initiatives around growing responsibly. Very much we want to integrate those kinds of programs into the rest of the company.